Welcome to Learn Law Better. Wondering what the Socratic Method is all about? Curious as to why professors use it? Stay to the end and learn the different ways it is used and how to survive when your professor calls on you. Now, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this episode and click the subscribe button and bell if you don't want to miss any future episodes. Hi, this is Bo Baez, and today I want to discuss the Socratic Method. The method is named after Socrates, the Greek philosopher who lived in Athens in the 5th century B.C. Though Socrates never wrote anything, his student, Plato, captured his teachings in a series of books we call the Dialogues. In the Dialogues, Socrates asks questions to others in the story, trying to get the other person to get to the truth of some issue. His most famous dialogue is called Phaedo, where Socrates asks questions to his students on the immortality of the soul. It's a wonderful book if you've never read it, and it's fairly short. The Socratic Method is a great teaching tool because it helps keep students engaged, which is in stark contrast to the traditional lecture. Some questions are designed to elicit lower-level thinking answers. For example, in what year did the American Revolution begin? A simple 1776 is all that is needed. But the Socratic Method, used by a seasoned professor, is used to engage the higher level thinking, as when the professor asks, why did the American colonies revolt in 1776? Now let's examine how professors use it in the classroom. Approach number one is the Bootcamp approach. The professor's role is to break the student by asking question after question until the student can't answer a question. This establishes the professor's dominance and humbles the student so that the student is willing to learn. You will be glad to hear that this approach isn't used much today. Approach number two is the accountability approach. The professor starts asking questions to dozens of students during a class session. But most of these questions require very little thought. The professor does this to ensure that students read the material. Approach number three is the thinking approach and most closely resembles how Socrates interacted with others. During a class session, the professor will ask questions to a few students, usually no more than 3, 4, or 5. Each student will answer questions for 15 to 20 minutes. As the professor tries to get the student to explain the assigned material. For example, the professor may ask, Mr. Smith, why do you believe that the court ruled in favor of the defendant? The professor will also ask hypothetical questions, which requires the students to move beyond the assigned reading. For example, Mr. Smith, that is a correct understanding of the material. Now let's change the facts. Assume that the victim was holding a gun instead of a baseball. How does that change your answer? Let's now look at how you can survive and thrive in this type of environment. 1, prepare for class. If you didn't read or only skim the reading, you're not going to do as well. 2, as the professor asks questions of others, pretend the professor is asking you the question. This means you should answer the question in your mind and jot down a few notes. If you don't do this, you're not going to engage with the material and miss the main benefit of the Socratic Method. Third, look at the professor when answering the question. Often the answers are nowhere to be found in your notes or reading, so don't look for them. Stop, think, and answer. If it's taking you some time to think of the words you want to use, it's okay to tell the professor something like, Professor, I know the answer, but I just need a few more seconds to gather my thoughts. Fourth, if you don't understand the question, ask the professor to rephrase. Fifth, try to answer the question. This method is not about giving a perfect answer. In fact, by trying, you very well could get to the right answer, and if you don't, at least you tried. Also, a skilled professor will help you get to an answer. What I tell my students is that I would rather see them try and get it completely wrong, rather than for them to have never tried at all. Remember, This is a learning experience. You should learn not only from your successes, but also from your failures. If you enjoy this material, hit the like button. Also, to avoid missing any future episodes, hit the subscribe and bell buttons. For more resources to help you get ahead, including my blog and newsletter, check out learnlawbetter.com. Thanks for watching.